Capcom introduced Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak during the most recent Nintendo Direct, a huge expansion with new monsters, locales, and gameplay. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak is the sequel to the Monster Hunter World Iceborne expansion. But what can we anticipate? Will there be any new monsters? Please stay with us as we go over this topic in further detail. Hey, this is Moshi, and I'm here to tell you that the next generation of gaming is here. So please subscribe to the channel and set on notifications to be notified of each upload. Let's get this conversation started. What is Monster Hunter Rise? Rise is a Monster Hunter game in the traditional sense. It's fairly complex action RPG in where you select one of several weapons classes to hunt progressively hazardous animals, harvesting materials to construct new weapons, and armor to take on even more dangerous beasts. Monster Hunter Rise was released on the Nintendo Switch in January 2021 and in PC in 2022. The edition, dubbed Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, introduces a brand new chapter that takes place after the events of Monster Hunter Rise. Consider Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak to be a follow-up to Monster Hunter World Iceborne, an addition that adds a new territory, plot, and monsters to the game, allowing players to leap from one adventure to the next. Capcom has yet to announce an official release date, but we do know that Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak will be released in summer 2022 and will be available on the Nintendo Switch and PC. Let us now look at some of the game's trailers. The first Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak trailer provides us with a first look at the new zone, Elgato Island. The expansion's first new monster, the hungry Luna Garan, is introduced in the second teaser trailer. Keep your eyes peeled. Now we'll get into the specifics of the gameplay. There's presently little data available about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak's gameplay. However, based on the title and what has come before, we predict Sunbreak will be Monster Hunter Rise's equivalent of Monster Hunter World's Iceborne expansion. Sunbreak, like Iceborne, is expected to be a large expansion, with a wide new area to explore and new creatures to fill the region. While Iceborne took us to a cold winter wonderland, Sunbreak implies that we'll be heading somewhere hot and possibly with beaches. This appears to be the case based on the trailer. When an element-themed area is added to Monster Hunter, the creatures we hunt usually reflect this in some way, so be on the lookout for new and returning monsters who belong in hot climates. The game will be comparable to Monster Hunter Rise in terms of gameplay, but we expect the expansion to include some new concepts. Okay, before we move on to the next exciting section of the discussion, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, let us know which section if this has piqued your interest in the comments. Now, let's return to the topic at hand. Monster Hunter Rise features 61 monsters against which you can pit against your wits, so learn everything you can about the game's toothy foes. While Rise incorporates characteristics from previous Monster Hunter games, it also has lots of fresh material for players to enjoy. Now here are some new monsters to expect. Magnamalo is the first monster we'd like to introduce to you. Magnamalo is Monster Hunter Rise's main character and the one who emanates a gloomy aura. According to legend, whenever this dreadful monster appears, the world would be thrown into turmoil. Purple hellfire flames erupt from this terrifying beast's jaws, claws, and tail as it devours its horrified victims. This not only makes Magnamalo look considerably more terrifying, but it also increases the horned beast's lethality. Despite its hefty appearance, Magnamalo is capable of launching some lightning-fast attacks. Expect a slew of powerful claw slams, ferocious ranged attacks, and massive gap-closing moves. Now, we have Gas Harag. Gas Harag stalks the Frost Island's cold tundras in quest of its victims. This cold-loving insect is notorious for creating ice blades by freezing its body fluids and imitating the actions of those who dare to chase it. While Gas Harag is an unusual blade master, its meticulous sword strokes may knock down hunters off their feet in a hurry. Gas Harag will use its large claws to swipe and claw away at its foes once the makeshift weapon has shattered. It also features a lethal ice beam, dagger toss, an AoE shockwave, as well as a multitude of ranged attacks. We now have Somnacanth. This swamp-dwelling beast may not have the same intimidating appearance as the Magmalo or Gosarag, but it is capable of destroying those who underestimate it. Somnacanth is said to hide in the flooded forest's murky waters. While this underwater serpent lacks the strength to face out against more powerful opponents, it does have a cunning trick up its scaly sleeve. Somnacanth will spew out sleep powder from an organ on its neck if it feels threatened. Any creature hit will be put to sleep in a matter of seconds. The mermaid wyvern will unleash a fatal surprise attack during this nightmare snooze. When Somnacanth is present, expect a lot of strange dreams. Let's discuss Bishaten now. Bishaten is a cunning trickster who enjoys teasing its prey. The omnivorous monkey is notable for keeping a variety of fruits in its belly pouch, which it eats as well as uses as weapons. One of Bishaten's most lethal attacks involves the monkey taking a yellow fruit from its pouch and using it in an aerial attack that stuns the hunter. Bishaten can also fling purple fruits that poison hunters if the immobilizing impact from this assault wasn't awful enough. The monkey-like monster uses its tail to bat fruit and slams its prey into the ground, while its winged arms enable it to soar from tree to tree. If you want to knock this monster over and break its head, you'll have to concentrate on its tail. Now, meet Agnossum, my friends. Agnossum defends itself by slamming its foes on the ground with its massive frill. When agitated, the bird wyvern lowers its head and charges at any hunters that get in its way. The monster's head slam, in which it smashes its beak to the ground as an attempt to spear those beneath it, is one of Agnossum's defining techniques. Agnossum's attack is extremely similar to Yian Kutku's, which will please veteran hunters. Unlike Yian Kutku's fire-based technique, though, Agnossum leaps into the air and spits fireballs in a circle. We have the Great Izuchi now. Great Izuchi resembles the other raptor-like bird wyverns in Monster Hunter. If you've ever defeated Great Jaggi, Ragi, Bagi, or World's Kulu Yaku, you'll be familiar with what to expect here. The Great Izuchi hunts in groups with Lesser Izuchi, tearing into their prey with their razor-sharp claws and jaws. Despite its diminutive stature, this monster is capable of launching a barrage of tail-based strikes. Great Izuchi is also highly agile, leaping from one assault to the next. It can be difficult to land those heavy-hitting assaults as a result of this, so try to anticipate where it will land before lining up those great sword hits. Now, we'd like to introduce Tetranodon. Tetranodon drew the attention of numerous monster hunters right away. This enormous amphibian not only appears to have devoured every creature in the game, but it also boasts one of the most amusing designs. Regardless, the selfish glutton is capable of some pretty heinous acts. Tetranodon did not get his way by eating a vegetarian diet after all. Instead, this colossal beast devours its prey completely, leaving no trace of life behind. It then slams any hunters who try to interrupt its feeding frenzy with its bulging stomach. While its attacks are slow in comparison to those other monsters in Rise, they are highly powerful. Rachna Kadaki will also be present. Rise's new volcanic zone, Lava Caverns, features Rachna Kadaki, the spider-like creature that suffocates its prey with sticky webs, rendering them immobile before unleashing lethal fire beams and fumes. Rachna Kadaki also carries its offspring, as if that wasn't horrible enough. These smaller spiders, known as rachnoid, and despite their diminutive size, they assist their mother in catching and attacking her victim. If you don't want to die a horrible death, you'll have to fight them both. When fighting this creepy monster, expect plenty of web-based ranged attacks, scorching lasers, and unpredictable movements. Almudron is another monster to beware of. Almudron is believed to live in Kimura's mountainous regions, but the rampage has caused it to flee to the sandy plains. This serpent-like creature flings mud at its prey with its huge tail, barraging them until they can no longer move. Rise's desert-dwelling wyvern can melt the ground beneath its prey, stopping them in their tracks and dragging them into muddy depths below. Almudron likewise coats himself in the muddy goo to protect himself from hunters. Wind Serpent Ibushi is another monster to expect. The Wind Serpent Ibushi is not only terrible to look at, but is also capable of doing a lot of damage. Unlike other massive dragons, this elder dragon can fly without the use of wings. Instead, it travels through the skies using a unique gas that it produces from its body. With its destructive dragon-based attacks, Ibushi may rip the very rocks from the ground and raze great kingdoms to the ground. You can kiss your health bar goodbye if you chance to get in the way of its energy rays. Thunder Serpent Narwa is another monster to expect. Thunder Serpent Narwa is linked to Wind Serpent Ibushi, as the name suggests. This fearsome duo reigns supreme over the skies as both king and queen. Wind Serpent Narwa, unlike Ibushi, uses the thunder element to cause devastation. The Thunder God Dragon's lethal electrical blasts, which it unleashes at its prey below, are capable of killing even the most trained hunters. If you want to defeat this terrible Elder Dragon, you'll need to work together and plan. There will also be Apex monsters, both new and old, so let us know if you want us to produce a separate movie on the comments below. Which monster has piqued your interest the most? Let us know in the comments. That concludes today's video. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and switch on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. This is Moshi, and we'll see you in the next video.